Title: The Mask of Mundanity. In the small, sleepy town of Willow Creek, the skies perpetually brimmed with a haze that seemed to cling to the earth like a shroud. It was a place where whispers traveled faster than sound and darkness snaked through the streets like a living entity. Despite its quaint exteriors, the townsfolk kept hidden fears buried deep, their secrets like the roots of the ancient oak trees that lined the town square. Evelyn Thompson was 16 and lived at the edge of town in a weathered house with her eccentric grandmother, who had stories passed down through generations. Tales of dark creatures lurking in the void, of wise old spirits and malicious shadows that feasted on human despair. Most of the kids at school thought it was nonsense, mere tales to scare little ones into behaving. But Evelyn was captivated by the stories, feeling their weight and truth in her bones. Little did she know that one of those stories would come back to haunt her. It began one stormy afternoon when the sky had darkened, rumbling ominously, and the wind howled like a banshee. Seeking refuge from the brewing tempest, Evelyn stumbled upon an old dusty book buried at the back of her grandmother's library. Its leather cover was embossed with strange symbols that pulsed with an eerie energy. Pages unveiled countless accounts of a creature named the Masked One, a trickster known for donning the faces of people it devoured, wearing their smiles and twisting their voices until they were nothing but echoes of their former selves. Curiosity morphed into obsession as she read each chilling tale. The Masked One was said to be unable to resist a good laugh, often seeking out those who found joy in the mundane. Hence, it thrived in towns like hers. But true danger lay in the belief that no one who ever laughed with it had returned unchanged. The next day, the storm had passed, but something had shifted in the air. Evelyn noticed a peculiar man lingering in the shadows near her school. He wore a nondescript gray suit, but his face was hidden behind a porcelain mask, expressionlessly blank yet somehow haunting. He blended into the background, inconspicuous enough that none seemed to notice him, yet Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling he was watching her. Every laugh, every whisper among her friends seemed to draw him closer. Days turned into nights, and the Masked One haunted her dreams, taunting her with laughter that sounded eerily familiar. Then came the friendships that spiraled into strange competitions. Was it a race to find joy, or was it a descent into madness? One by one, Evelyn's friends began to lose themselves in the charm of this mysterious man, their laughter echoing in the halls, growing darker and more twisted over time. Evelyn, torn between enjoyment and dread, confronted the masked figure one fateful evening as the last rays of sunlight faded into twilight. "Who are you?" she demanded, her voice wavering but resolute in the face of the entity's allure. "What do you want?" The Masked One tilted its head, the mask glinting eerily in the moonlight. "Just a bit of fun, dear Evelyn. A joke to unravel the mundane. Will you share a laugh with me?" He stepped closer, and in that moment, she glimpsed others behind him, shadows warped by the night. They bore familiar faces, friends and classmates who had succumbed to his pull. They laughed, but it was hollow, a cacophony of madness woven through with pity and despair. "No," she screamed, her heart racing and regret clawing at her. She reached into the depths of the knowledge her grandmother had instilled in her. "You're the Masked One, the tormentor of mirth. You wear their faces but they are gone." He paused, and the laughter dissipated, revealing cold silence. "But the beauty of laughter can be a weapon, Evelyn. I give them new life." With a surge of courage, she charged forward. "You don't own them." She ripped the mask from his face, and behind it was an inky darkness that threatened to swallow her whole. Ethereal hands reached for her, a surge of souls all screaming for freedom as their visages swarmed in a desperate frenzy. With a guttural scream, Evelyn focused on the stories learned, the strength of laughter stemming from joy rather than despair. "I will not be your jest," she cried, as light erupted from her heart, breaking the hold. As the darkness rushed back to him, the faces of her friends flickered for a heartbeat, freed as he dissolved back into the veil of shadows. In the aftermath, Willow Creek resumed its mundane rhythm, but Evelyn held a sacred wisdom now, a knowledge of joy that bypassed mortal games of tricks and masks. Though she lost friends to the dark allure of laughter, she would forever carry their memory, a fragile echo in her heart, reminding her of the fine line between joy and despair. From that day forward, she would smile, a genuine smile, and the town of Willow Creek would feel the warmth of a different kind of laughter, one that repelled the shadows, keeping the Masked One at bay, hidden away in tales of warning, waiting for the next soul to take lightly the burden of laughter.